I am intrigued, surprised, and somewhat excited by how much debate this topic raises. So, I started talking about primary data versus secondary data probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the background for this is I was sort of noticing in my conversations with sustainability practitioners and also with, let's say, peripheral stakeholders. So I'm including corporate sustainability people, but also consultants, advisors, software stakeholders, etc. I was sort of noticing that there are these two schools of thought. And one is that you need no touch solutions. You need complete holistic secondary data cover and actually satellite data, some kind of advanced modeling, data science, AI is going to allow you to solve everyone's scope 3 problem by just having some sort of universal coverage of synthetic data of some sort. And that's kind of one school of thought. And I think there's a set of vendors pitching that, and there's a set of stakeholders pitching that. And then there's the second school of thought, which is you need universal primary data coverage. You need everyone entering data in somewhere, every supplier, every company entering in data for everything, every item that they purchase, every item that they produce. And that database should be made available to every company. And every company can then just pull data from there, and that solves everyone's scope 3 problem. And there's a different set of vendors behind that, and a different set of stakeholders pitching that. And the sustainability people working in corporate teams basically get both sets of pitches and have to pick one. And I started asking audiences at events where I would go to, which of these two camps do you sort of fall into? And I'm finding increasingly people falling into the primary data camp. And I feel quite strongly that actually both camps are wrong. And so what I've started saying at events that I go to is that you actually need hybrids. And the reason for that is that if you look at, let's say, a few different factors, you look at cost, you look at need, and you look at the sort of just the scalability and the sort of pragmatism of getting a solution out there. I don't think it's feasible for us to go out and get primary data coverage. It'll just never be cost effective, and we'll talk about that a little more in this episode. At the same time, I don't think secondary data can ever be as accurate as you would need it to be without some input of primary data. And so my approach is always we need a hybrid, and we'll talk a bit more about that as well. But that's just to set the scene a bit, Izzy.